Hey guys, Andrew Esquivel here, back with another review, and today I'm going to be reviewing the COMLIFE camping fan. Now there's a lot of different camping fans out there that use a very similar concept, but a lot of them use different methodologies to achieve the same result. Now I chose this fan in particular over a bunch of other models that you can get on Amazon for really one particular reason. And that's because instead of using something like AA batteries, which usually tend to have a capacity of around 1,000 milliamp hours per battery, depending on which one you use, these use 18650 batteries, which can top out at around 3,500 milliamp hours per battery. And instead of just using one 18650 like I've seen other models of these fans use, they use, wait for it, two 18650 batteries, which is a huge improvement for the lifespan of the fan per charge, which, yes, they can be charged without having to have a separate device to charge the batteries. I have a 18650 battery charger that I use for all my rechargeable batteries, but as long as you have a USB cable, which it does come with one, you can charge the batteries directly through whatever phone charger you want just by keeping the batteries in here, which actually leads me to my next point about why I like this particular fan. Let's look at the back of the fan here that tells you the power consumption rating of the unit. It tops out at around 3.5 watts. It's not all that much. Motor working current is less than 1 amp. That's relatively efficient, and they can achieve this because this is a brushless motor. Compared to brushed motors, they use a significantly lower amount of electricity to achieve the same effect. And that ties into another little neat concept that I've been playing with using this fan that actually works. So the fan is powered by those two 18650 batteries. However, you can actually take those batteries out and just using whatever standard phone charger or you have laying around, you can power it directly with this cable. So you don't actually need the batteries, but if the batteries are in there, they will hold a charge, and you can charge the device while using it because the fan is efficient enough that you can do both at the same time. But the fun doesn't end there. It doesn't have to be plugged up to a wall charger. It can be plugged up to something like my big battery bank. Now this battery bank is 30,000 milliamp hours. So you can get a lot of fan time with that. However, it gets even better because I have confirmed this on my end that it works. This right here is a portable cell phone charger. It is solar panels. And I can get 21 watts of power to come out of the solar panel. And that is way more power than the fan consumes, which means I can use this fan in the sweltering heat of the day and not use the batteries. In fact, be charging the batteries while using the fan. Or I can forego the batteries completely and simply run the power from the fan right off of these solar panels. Now, obviously, this thing doesn't come with a battery bank or solar panels, but if you're gonna go camping, it's not like you have batteries laying around. So having two big batteries in here, which actually I'll get to in a second, they total up to 4,400 milliamp hours of the ones that come with it. You can get better 18650s to get something much higher than that. So what I'm getting at is I can use and charge the batteries with my solar panel during the day and then use the batteries in here at night. That's a pretty good concept, and it works. Now, that being said, there are many different 18650 batteries out there. The standards between them are kind of wonky. So these are flat top 18650 batteries. They do not have a button top, and I do not believe these are protected cells. And each of these batteries is 2,200 milliamp hours. As you can see here, when I benchmarked the batteries, they actually exceeded their rating by a good margin, about 200 to 300 milliamp hours above what they're rated for. Which, for batteries that are included, that's not half bad. Now, I have used protected button top batteries in these, and they fit, which is great because protected button top 18650s are taller, and in some devices they just simply don't fit. You can get batteries that are 3,500 milliamp hour in the 18650 form factor, which means you just get that much more runtime. Now, the estimated runtime for the batteries that are included is about 4 hours when running this thing at full bore. That being said, there are 3 different fan speeds. Those are controlled by these buttons down here. So there's one button for the fan and another button for an LED, because this isn't just a fan. This is a light. There's 2 modes for the light, and that's low, medium, and high. We'll get into more detail about how effective the fan is at blowing air in just a minute, but again, there's more features to this. So inside of your camping tent, and usually near the pointed part at the top, there is a spot to place a light. This simply clips on to wherever that light would be. So now you've got a camping light and a camping fan. It does 2 things at once. But then I hear you saying, wait a minute, what if I need it to blow in a certain direction? Well, have no fear, because take a look at this. It can swivel 180 degrees, and it can swivel in this direction 180 degrees for the most part. Yeah, 180 degrees. So you've got all the adjustment in the world once it's placed exactly where you want it. And that makes it extremely versatile. All these features make it a really good option for a camping fan. And the fact that you can upgrade it with better 18650 batteries means you can get more runtime out of it. So now let's actually talk about how well the fan blows air. After all, that is kind of the main point of this whole thing. So there are 3 modes for the fan. You got low, medium, and high. It starts out on low. You press that button there. And when facing the fan, at a distance like this, it's a light breeze. And we're about maybe 1.5, 2 feet away, and it's okay, but chances are you're probably not going to be using this fan on low mode. So now, let's put it on medium. Now, medium is a big difference compared to low. And I'd say we've definitely got a bit more distance and a lot more volume of air coming through. But the distance is kind of the thing here. If I turn it on high, we get a pretty decent amount of air being moved. Now, I don't know the exact cubic feet per minute of air that is moved by this fan, but I can say that it is definitely significant enough to make a difference. In my hammock, I use this on one of the lines above where the hammock is placed, and I'll lay down on one of the more hot days and I'll have this blowing air down at me, and it definitely helps keep me cool on days that are just a bit too warm. Now, this does more than just blow air. As we were saying before, it's also a light. It's got 2 modes for light. It starts out on high, then it goes to low, and it goes to off. There's two different buttons, one for the fan and one for the light. Now, one thing to keep in mind about this fan is unlike a ceiling fan that tries to disperse air in a large volume area, this fan is very directional. And that may have something to do with the way the blades of the fan are designed. But instead of dispersing air outwards, it kind of focuses it in a particular direction, whichever direction it's facing. So in a small tent, it's much easier to get that fan to blow your way because there's less variation. In a big tent, all those little features we talked about on how to adjust it and all that are really going to come into play, and you're probably going to be using it on high mode. And when you do that, you can traverse a pretty decent distance. I think I got about 8 feet when I last tested this, from a sitting position here to where I was until I couldn't really feel it anymore. Now granted, those are under optimal conditions in a controlled environment inside of this room. When you're outside, there's a lot of different variations with wind that could throw off the fan's airflow. So that being said, I still think this little thing is really cool. It does all the things that it should do really well, and it uses what I consider to be the best batteries to do the job for its form factor. So, do I recommend the product? That's a thumbs up for me. If you like this video, leave a thumbs up. If you want to see more content like this, consider subscribing.